Health and Wellbeing program with the Workwell Center and your host for today. Welcome to our last session of the Navigating Challenging Times webinar series, sponsored by the Workwell Center, part of Office of Behavioral Health in Health Affairs. We are so excited that you are all here with us today as we get closer to the holidays. Many of you have been with us throughout this entire series, which started back in August, and we hope you've learned some practical strategies and insights for managing stress, change, resiliency, self-care, developing healthy coping techniques, and creating sustainable routines. Today, we'll be focusing on seasons of gratitude and sustaining well-being. Today will be an interactive session where we will be practicing mindfulness, meditation, yoga, stretching, breathing, intention setting, as well as recapping what we've learned throughout the past few months. I am pleased to share our speakers for today. We have Allison Pimentel, who is a director of Mindful USE, part of Office of Religious and Spiritual Life. Dr. Cindy Ryan, Associate Director of Clinical Services with the Workwell Center. Dr. Eden Goldman, Lecturer of the Yoga and Physical Education and Mind-Body Health, Director of Yoga USC, part of Dornsife College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences, and Dr. Laura Hilton, Director of USC Workwell Center, and myself. And before we begin, I'd like to always remind the audience to feel free to stand, stretch, move, do some shoulder rolls, whatever makes you feel best during our session today. And I will go ahead and kick us off with sharing a few things that we've learned over the past few months. We hope that you found this webinar series helpful as we came together to support the path to fiscal sustainability. Our Workwell team and our partners hope that there were many takeaways that you have implemented in your daily routine or considering as moving forward in 2026. We will love to hear from you, so if you want to direct message us in the chat, feel free to share what you've done or what you plan to do as we navigate these challenging times together. So here's a brief recap of what we shared and what we learned. Back in August, Cindy and I kicked off the session or the series with self-care during challenging times, and we helped you set a plan that includes healthy habits such as connecting with others, finding emotional support from trusted individuals, consuming nutritious meals, movement, gratitude, acts of kindness, setting boundaries and limits, and prioritizing rest and restoration, finding purpose, embracing healthy thoughts, and connecting with the community. We would love to hear from you what you've done around self-care. Then in September, we presented with several of our partners the mental health benefits available to USC employees. We heard from TELUS, from Kaiser, from Lyra, from Care for the Caregiver. So we hope you are now better aware of the benefits available and how to reach out for support. Then in October, we talked about coping with trauma, grief, and loss. And in this session, our expert speakers shared a great deal of information about how we physiologically and psychologically respond to grief, stress, and trauma, with key themes including establishing and maintaining connectedness, how to regulate your nervous system, and looking for micro moments for safety and connection, moving forward after a loss by reauthorizing your story, strengthening current connections, and forming new ones. And then last month, we heard from our speakers from HRAC, Office of Religious and Spiritual Life, and Workwell about building community and flourishing by connecting with ourselves, others, the earth, and nature. We shared our social connection and belonging toolkit, which we're very excited that we can share with all of you again today. And then finally, we shift to today. And with that, I hope all of you have learned and are practicing some new skills. So feel free to share with us. And we will move forward with our next couple of speakers. Cindy Ryan, I believe you are next up. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Julie. What a lovely reflection, which is what this season is about. So I found this quote on gratitude, that it brings peace for today. It creates hope for tomorrow and makes sense of the past. And I think we know we've been through a long journey this year. And at the same time as we are dealing with challenges and changes and seeking to find ways of coping, we're landing on how we keep a caring community. How do we, support one another and really find a way to do that? And we've talked about external change and internal change. It prompts us to think. And with thinking, we gain perspective. And with perspective, we gain wisdom. So I'd like us to look at what we're thinking about in terms of that. As you said, Julie, it's learning. We're learning a lot. We could reflect back and think of things that we didn't really know at the beginning of the year, but now we do. And so it is a process. In a way, I find it almost an act of humility, where we're looking within, we're finding what we discover in ourselves that we can bring forward for growth and what we need to learn. So then in that reflection, we often are looking at what is it that matters? What is our perspective on things? It is introspection. So that values that we've learned over this past years are really deepened and made even stronger. And then we've learned in our creating community and creating that through other support groups or education sessions or just simply reaching out, that the caring community is really where we find so much healing through empathy and compassion. So going forward, we want to look for, where does that gratitude happen? After these many months of support groups and education sessions, there simply is a natural progression from realizing, yes, this is challenging. Yeah, it's meaning more of me, and always comes through with gratitude. We're grateful for family and friends and health and ways of life that we can build. So we know we'll have unexpected changes, but the power of this year to help us deepen our wisdom for our self-care and our well-being is really going to be an essential way to transform challenge into opportunity through compassion, through empathy, and through the strengths. Much of our themes are through living our values, building trust, and acknowledging strengths. So reach out and offer more, and we can all be in this together as we go into a new year. So, Laura.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cindy. I'd like to share a bit on intention setting and grounding ourselves to move forward, with hopes that this puts another tool in your self-care kit. And as Cindy mentioned, we recognize the moment. We recognize that the financial constraints, uncertainty, and organizational changes that many of us have navigated and may currently be experiencing, these conditions can impact our focus, our morale, and our energy. So before we move forward, it's important to pause and acknowledge the context that we're in, how it might be draining or distracting, and naming that matters. But in times of disruption, returning to our personal and professional values helps us anchor decisions and sustain our integrity and guide us in how we show up for our work, our friends and family, and one another. So it's moments like this, it's a stabilizing force to reconnect with our personal and professional values. Our values act as our internal compass. They help us make thoughtful decisions and maintain perspective and stay grounded when those external circumstances feel unpredictable. They drive our thoughts and our behaviors, and the values may show up differently for each of us. This list on the right side of the screen is simply a prompt. You may also identify other values that are not listed here. But with the clarity about what matters most, our values, we can set intentional priorities, choosing where to invest our time, our energy, and our emotions. As we look to the year ahead, it's really an opportunity to be intentional. We can choose how we want to move forward, what we prioritize, how we lead, how we care for ourselves and certainly each other. So intention setting helps us shift from simply managing to navigating with purpose. This way, with intention setting, we can plan ahead to live our values. And then I want to just bring a call to action on the next slide and wrap up with, um, intention setting is really a transformative activity, and it does require some action, but it's quite easy and sustained intention setting that you can do each day. So with your values in mind, take a moment each morning, maybe over winter break, if you get some time off, I hope, to reflect on what feels most important to you right now and how those values might guide your thoughts and actions with intentional steps forward. So thank you for being part of navigating challenging times and for joining us today. And with that, I would be pleased to turn it over to Dr. Eden Goldman.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. My name is Dr. Eden Goldman, and I direct Yoga USC and our USC Yoga Teacher Training Program on campus. And I'm here to share a little bit about yoga and how yoga can be supportive, literally in what we just talked about, where Dr. Laura was talking about intention setting. Well, we will take that into action in our next little segment here. So on the next slide, you'll see our ideas about yoga being a lifestyle balancing practice, right? A lot of times people think of yoga as postures, but yoga is not necessarily just the posture, right? The word asana itself means to sit. And the idea is that in a posture, you're sitting inside yourself, and how you sit, whether it's an asana, whether it's a meditation cushion, whether it's at your work at desk or in conversation with family members, how you sit in yourself is largely defined in us in yoga by how you're breathing, right? As is the breath, so is the mind is a famous writing from one of the old yoga scriptures, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And we've all experienced that, right? If you breathe intensely, you're usually in an intense state of mind. And if you breathe calmly, you're usually in a calm state of mind. So the breath in yoga culture dictates exactly how we're experiencing the world. So we oftentimes look to the breath as that barometer of how we're doing. Yoga is the practice of learning to harness this idea and concept of the mind and the emotions while also being calm within ourself, right, in our nervous system. There's a famous yogi in the tradition that I was raised in, Paramahansa Yogananda's Kriya Yoga tradition. And he used to say, be actively calm and calmly active, right? Actively trying to calm yourself through the things that you're doing in your internal world, but calmly being active in the world itself as we go around our activities, which have a tendency to amplify around the holidays. So for that, we're all here to practice. I just want you to have an idea, though, that also Yoga USC as an organization is here to support you. We have yoga classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays that'll start in the spring at 5:30 p.m. in the Fishbowl. We have free workshops and inspiration on Instagram, as well as our next yoga teacher training that'll start in January of 2027. Our programs are to support the self-care, wellness, quality of life, emotional balance, stress reduction, community and belonging, and personal growth of each individual, with an emphasis space specifically on individual adaptability. Our mission is to serve the USC community. So with that, we're going to jump into some practice for today. We'll do a little bit of chair yoga. So join me in your chair, please. I'm going to step back and we'll start with intention setting, right? The idea of setting an intention in a yoga practice is much like Dr. Laura said about setting an intention for the day. In yoga, however, we actively try to experience it. It's not just a mental thought about what my intention is. It's to get a felt sense of experience in that feeling, quality, emotion, whatever you decide is your intention. So yoga is designed to help us clarify our values. So what do you value today? What is something that for today, if you focused on it for the next few minutes, that maybe it changes the way that you're relating with yourself and or the world. So I'd ask you, if you're comfortable with it, to please close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing the eyes, just look to a spot, either on the floor or on your desk in front of you, and recede your awareness. So even though you might be looking out, you're still kind of looking more within. If you're able to close the eyes, go ahead and close the eyes. If you'd like to place your hands on your heart, either palm over palm to cradle the heart and create a container, or palm touching palm to create a prayer position. Allow some way of connection here, so that way we can take that all-important journey. It's only 1 foot. It's probably the shortest journey you're going to take this whole holiday season, but the most important, from the head to the heart. So as you start to descend into your heart, ask yourself, what today would be a value that I can bring into action that would make me feel more comfortable, happy, supported, in tune, right? Typical types of intentions in a yoga class would be things like being more compassionate, being more peaceful, being more loving, being more understanding, being more kind of healthy in our approach to ourselves, being more at ease in ourselves, right? These are just suggestions, right? There are lots of, pick one, whether it was one that I just shared or one that you know that you're trying to remember in yourself. Because that's the thing, we don't have to go anywhere to to purchase peace, right? You can't go into a store and buy it. You have to self-generate it from inside. All of these values, all of these qualities. So once you have it, let's just take about 1 minute or so, and I'm going to give you some techniques that my students this term in our self-care classes said were their favorite techniques. So I'm going to give you what the USC students like the best, because I think it's going to be very relevant to us as well as faculty members and professionals. So we'll begin with what we call in yoga Samavriti Pranayama, which we talk about outside of yoga as box breathing, colloquially. The box breathing is an inhale, a hold, an exhale, and a hold to create that sense of a box. But we're just going to do the inhale and the exhale. We're not going to hold the breath on this initial technique. We will on one toward the end of our practice today. We'll be practicing for about 10 minutes just to give yourself an idea of what this will entail. So we'll inhale now for a count of about 4, and then we'll exhale for the same count of about 4. Okay, as you're ready to, please join in with me, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Again, inhaling and exhaling. And now continuing on your own for the next minute to provide a balanced space that we welcome this intention into, right? It's one thing to have an intention. It's another thing to have it settle in a way that we can sit with it more comfortably. So here I'll quiet down and we'll just sit and breathe together for about a minute. As the yogis say, if you can breathe, you can do yoga. So this is where our yoga practice will start. Go ahead and take 5 more breaths, please. And at the end of the 5th breath, you can open your eyes comfortably. Take your time, though. There's no rush to get there. So 5 last breaths. Okay, welcome everybody. Hopefully the energy has calmed down and feels a little bit more balanced inside. That was only 1 minute of equal breathing that we did. And the idea is that it's supposed to calm you down and help you feel more balanced and more aligned. Usually we start to see effects of breathing techniques after about 3 to 5 minutes physiologically. But in terms of our own experience, we may see it even quicker than that in just how we sit inside ourselves. So just to give you a profile view, our first exercise will be called a Sphinx exercise. It's almost like a cat-cow in the chair. We'll exhale and round the back from the bottom of the shoulder blade, reaching that to kind of where the ceiling and wall would meet behind you. So you're reaching back and up with the bottom of your shoulder blade. Inhale, bring your chest forward, head up, bring your chin in, relax the shoulders, and broaden the chest and the collarbone, so long out to the sides. Exhale and round. Let's do 5. Inhale, chest forward, head up, chin in. Try not to poke the chin. Try to keep the chin relatively close by the neck. 4 more. Exhale. Right? Moving with intention. So it's not just we're inhaling and moving and exhaling and moving, which we are, but we're inhaling and moving with whatever that inner focus is, that inner guidance, that inner experience that we're trying to remember. Right? And then yoga becomes not just a place where we clarify our values, but we learn how to move through the world with our values intact within our heart. So we live with more of a sense of purpose in our day-to-day experience. All right, coming back to center. From there, we'll stay in the spine. The first one was to get out of rounding position and get the spine more mobile, right? Now we'll get out of rounding position and just pull the shoulders back. We'll bring the arms up like a V or a Y, like a cactus or a goalpost. Exhale, hands, elbows toward each other. They may touch, they may not. That's fine if they don't. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, 5 times, please. Again, inhale, move slow. Don't be in a hurry. Allow the breath to guide the movement so that they're working interdimensionally, right? Working with each other to provide the effect. Inhale opens us up. Exhale closes us down, just like the lungs. The inhale opens up the lungs, last 2. Exhale closes the lungs. Last 1, we'll inhale, open. Exhale, bring your hands behind you and just open up your chest. Bring your hips a little forward, butt a little forward to the front of the chair. Drop your head back, but keep lifting your chest. If you have any blood pressure issues, you can always keep the chin in by the chest. But feel free to, if not, to just get a little stretch for your spine, for your chest. Take a few breaths there. When you feel like you've gotten a good stretch there, we'll come back to center. We'll reposition our hips toward the center of the chair, and we'll do something nice for the hips as well. Let's take the right leg, cross it over the left thigh. Right leg over the left thigh, pressing through the right heel, curling the right toes back. Sit up as straight as you can. You can always take both hands to kind of roll your thigh down, right? Externally rolling the thigh down so the knee drops as you saw in the picture. Sit up as straight as you can from there. You're welcome to stay straight up, or you can start to fold down, leading with your chest. So you're not rounding your spine, you're reaching forward with your spine and coming down. And then we can just hang out here together. Take a few breaths and stretch out the hips. As you breathe here, again, keep the spine straight, keep the shoulders relaxed, keep tension and stress out of the jaw and the facial muscles, and make the breaths nice, long, and smooth in terms of your experience of quality. Last 2 breaths, breathing in, breathing out, and again, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale to sit up, please. Release the right foot, cross the left over the right, left ankle over right thigh. Again, press through the heel, roll the thigh away. Inhale, sit up as straight as you can. Exhale, start to hinge at your waist, not at your low back, but at your waist to start to move forward with the spine and the chest guiding you. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, inhale, long and smooth breath. Exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Last 2, keeping the spine straight. Try to stay connected with your body and your breath. Inhale, last 1. Exhale, release the position. Shake out your legs a little bit if you need to. If you need to stand, you can always stand and just stretch to one side and then the other side a couple times. If you're feeling okay in the chair, you can just stay down for right now. And we'll do a couple neck stretches to finish out before we do another breathing practice. Okay? For these neck stretches, you can place one hand behind your back or underneath your bum, whichever feels more comfortable in your body. Take the right arm either behind the back or under the bum. Take the left hand to the top of the right ear. As that left hand is connecting to the top of the right ear, bring the left ear toward the shoulder. Spin the chin toward the right. Let your head fall a little forward from there. This will stretch your upper trapezius muscle that goes out from your neck to your shoulder. Take a few breaths here, letting your head fall a little forward, and then really work at releasing that shoulder away. It's not to pull on the head. The hand on the head is just guiding the head. We're really working at releasing the shoulder with gravity. When you feel like you've gotten a good stretch, again, inhale to come up. Switch sides, please. Other side. Left behind, right up and over. Right ear to shoulder, chin spins the opposite way. And breathe. Again, let your breath help to settle you in your body. Right? As is the breath, so is the mind. If we can calm down the breath, the mind can calm with it. You can use it as an ally and a resource. Inhale, bring your head back to center. Switch back to the first side. This time we're going to take the left hand to the right back corner of the head rather than to the ear, back corner of the head. We'll then bring the left ear and the chin toward the left shoulder and armpit. So this will stretch up the back of the neck a little bit more specifically than out toward the shoulder. You can still let the head fall forward, let that right shoulder blade release, and it's a great way to stretch the levator scapulae muscle that goes up the back of the neck. Sometimes this muscle can create some headaches for people, a lot of tension in the neck, especially around the holidays where we're holding on a lot. Try to find those perfect gifts. So this is a chance to let go of some of that stress. Inhale, bring your head back to center. Exhale, other side. Right to the back left corner. Left hand behind the back or under the bum. Right ear to shoulder. Chin toward that right shoulder. Let the head fall forward, please. Breathe here. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Nice smooth breathing. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Last two breaths. There's space. Let the head fall a little bit more. Let the shoulder blade fall a little bit away, but don't force it. Right, we use sugar and sweetness than force in yoga. Inhale. Bring your head back to center. We'll do one last stretch. We're going to take the left thumb padding on top of your clavicle, on top of your collarbone, okay? We're going to hook the thumb on top of the collarbone like a bird on a perch, and then drop the elbow down, pulling down on the collarbone, creating some traction. Then reinforce the wrist with your other hand, so right hand will come onto the left wrist to create more traction and pull down, and bring your head away out to the side. As long as you are okay in the blood pressure areas, you can go to the side and back a little bit. And those will stretch. If you go more to the side, your scalene muscle, more to the side and back, your sternocleidomastoid, your SCM muscle. These are muscles that are often forgotten about that hold on to tension underneath the surface. This is a great way to kind of rotor-rooter into those muscles that hold on to tension, make them feel a little bit better, right? Take some of that pressure out right now. Inhale, come back to center. Let's go to the other side. Right thumb on left clavicle, left hand reinforces the right wrist, will pull down and away. And then bring the head to the side, maybe to the side and back. Last couple breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back to center, we'll place the hands into the lap. We'll do one last minute of breathing, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Allison Pimentel from Mindful USC. So as we conclude our practice today, let's sit up straight with the hands either on the knees or in the lap. And we'll do our last minute with a favorite from my sleep for peak performance classes this semester of 4-7-8 breathing. So we'll inhale for 4, we'll hold for 7, we'll exhale for 8. If holding the breath isn't comfortable to you, if it brings up stress or anxiety, feel free to let go of the hold and just to breathe 4 in and 8 out. For those that are joining me, let's do it together. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8. Again, inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Let's do 3 more rounds. Inhaling for 4. Holding for 7. Exhaling for 8. Last 2 on your own. Last 2 rounds on your own, please. 4, 7, 8. And when you're done, hopefully you can already feel the effects of the practice of working with intention and breathing and how important that is around the holidays. With that, we're going to pass it along to Dr. Allison Pimentel, Director of Mindful USC, to guide us deeper into the practice. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Edenji. That practice was so beautiful. I feel more embodied now after doing it. And thank you to all my esteemed colleagues on this webinar for all of the good work of well-being that you do, that you model, and that you bring to this community. The practice of yoga, all of those yoga poses that we did, and all yoga poses in general are designed to really do one thing, which is to uh, allow us to sit comfortably in a meditation pose. So all of the movement of the body actually helps us connect to the stillness that we can dive into more deeply when we practice meditation. And I'll guide you in just a couple of minutes in a guided meditation practice. But before I do, I want to just tell you a bit about mindfulness meditation and what we do at Mindful USC. So if we could have that slide, please. Thank you so much. I don't see
There
it.
we go. It's coming. It's
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
All right. So
There we go.
thank you. So the author, healer, Resmaa Menakem says, a calm, settled body is the foundation for health, healing, and meaningful action. And I love this quote because I think it really captures the essence of mindfulness. It's a way to tend to the self for the self's sake, um, but also for the sake of everybody, for all the selves, for all the people that we encounter, so that we move from a more grounded, wise, compassionate place in the world. So, mindfulness is really the practice of paying attention with openness, with curiosity, with kindness, with the willingness to be with what is, not what we want them to be or wish things were or wish they weren't, but to really come into contact with reality so that we can mount the appropriate response, not so that we accept the status quo and just accept things as they are when things aren't are as they shouldn't be, but so that we can come into contact and really move skillfully through the world. And we can train the muscle of mindfulness. We can train the muscle of compassion, just like we train our muscles, just like we stretch our muscles, like we just did with Dr. Eden's practice. And so at Mindful USC, what our goal is to really share with you these powerful practices that are truly transformative, not only for us as individuals, but also as a community, as a collective. And we do that by offering free classes in a wide range of that cover a wide range of topics that are designed to span the full spectrum of human experience, from working skillfully with stress and distress to cultivating joy, resilience, presence, wisdom. We also have classes that explore mindful approaches to writing, to creativity, to parenting, to relating with the natural world, lots of eco-mindfulness classes. And we're introducing a new suite of offerings on mindful productivity, a really mindful way to engage with what has become quite overwhelming for so many of us, technology, the to-do lists, the all of the ways that we are called to interact virtually in technological spaces. Um, all of our programs are free, as I mentioned, and they're really designed for your well-being in mind. So what I wanted to do is offer a guided mindfulness meditation practice to give you a taste of what you might find in one of our classes. I really encourage you to sign up and see for yourself. We also have drop-in groups. If you just want to kind of drop in without signing up for a series, you're welcome to do that as well. And this practice, I hope, will sort of draw on all of the themes that we've been covering over the course of this series and really allow you an embodied experience of being with them and processing them and really taking them in. So as you're ready, I invite you to find a way to sit comfortably in your seat. Really allowing yourself to find a posture that's at once at ease and also alert. And let's take a few deep breaths in together, just inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Once again, fill the body with breath and just let it go. And just allowing yourself now to arrive. This will be a guided practice of about 7 or 8 minutes. And just feeling your feet resting on the ground, sensing into the support of the earth beneath your feet, feeling the contact of the body with the chair that you're sitting in. Just feeling yourself held by gravity, moved by the breath, all of the natural supports around you. And now taking another slow breath in and out before letting your breath just fall back into its natural rhythm. Just marking this pause, this moment of standing still at a threshold, this threshold that we're all in between the year that has passed is now coming to a close and the new year that will soon begin, the semester that is closing before the new semester to begin. It's a transition point, a threshold, the closing of one year, the opening of another. Threshold is not yet the next thing and is no longer the last thing. So let's be here in this moment, this place to stop, to feel where we've been before we move on. This moment is the fruit and the seed. It's the fruit of all the moments that have preceded it, and it is the seed of all the moments that are to come. And so let's pay attention to it. And with that spirit of mindfulness, that spirit of openness and curiosity and willingness to be with what is, I invite you to just really gently sense this year that's coming to an end. Not as a story you need to analyze, but as a season your body has lived through. What did this year ask of you? What did you learn to carry, to release, to endure? What joys were present? What sorrows? Rather than getting caught up in the storyline, see if you can just feel a felt sense of all that has come before, all that you carried, all that you accomplished, all that was alive for you this year. And see if you can meet this sensation, this felt sense with kindness, not needing to fix anything or change anything, but to just hold it in kind awareness, breathing some space around it. And here at this threshold, we might also acknowledge with gratitude what helped us to get here. So you might bring to mind a quiet sense of gratitude for your own efforts, for all that you carried and held and did and gave this year, for the moments of support and connection you received from family members, friends, colleagues, students, mentors. Gratitude for the body that carried you through this year. This body, which may also carry illness, aches, but also strength, vitality, resilience. Gratitude doesn't need to be grand. Even the most simple recognition, something helped me through, is enough. And just resting in gratitude for a few breaths. And at this threshold, the edge of one year and the beginning of another, you might begin to sense what wants to move with you as you cross forward. Not necessarily a resolution or a plan or a goal, but a way of being. What way of being wants to move with you into the next year? Maybe it's meeting yourself with some more patience or kindness, Maybe it's remembering to pause, to breathe, to move, trusting that what you're doing is enough, or creating the space to invite in new ways of being that will support you. So maybe this quality comes to you in a word or a felt sense. See if you can really hold that quality in your mind and your heart. And remember that none of us cross the thresholds alone. Others are crossing too. All of us here on this webinar, our colleagues, our students, the communities we care for, the people we tend to. And so when you're ready, you might imagine stepping across this threshold, carrying in your heart, in your mind, in your hands, what feels supportive for you, and allowing that to quietly support those around you as well. The practices of self-care, of inquiry, of connection with ourselves don't just benefit ourselves. They benefit everybody whose lives we touch with our own. And so as we prepare to move out of this period of practice, may we cross the thresholds of our lives with care for ourselves and for each other. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Invite some movement back into the body by wiggling toes, fingers, stretching, whatever the body needs. And then when you're ready, slowly allowing your eyes to open if they've been closed. Thank you for your practice.
Thank you so much, Allison. That was amazing. And thank you, Dr. Eden Goldman, as well, for all the stretching and breathing. That felt so good. I hope you all here enjoyed it. Feel free to share in the chat if you'd like any reactions, comments, or questions for any of our speakers. We have about 5 minutes for Q&A. If there are any questions from the group, we would love to answer them. We'll give you a few minutes to put your questions in the chat. And I'll kick off with this question. That was amazing. Yes, I'm feeling relaxed. Yeah. How do you all suggest, or maybe one or two might want to answer, finding time to integrate these practices into your day, right? Because we always hear time's a barrier, there's too much to do. What are some things you would suggest for the audience on integrating this into your day and getting it done? Any thoughts?
I'm happy to share one quick one, which is micro mindfulness, micro practices. And I heard the word micro earlier here today. You know, many of us don't have the time to sit for 10 minutes to practice mindfulness meditation, but when we walk from one meeting to another, we can walk mindfully. or when we communicate with our colleagues or our friends, we can try to bring that quality into our conversation. So we can just thread mindfulness and these practices throughout our day as opposed to, or in addition to, setting aside a time for them. Um, I often like to say, stop and smell the roses. Literally, you're walking by a flower bush, stop and smell the flower. And just that one hit can really do a lot for your nervous system.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'd love to follow up on her ideas of the micro mindfulness. A lot of times, as I said when I was sharing, that we see physiologic effect of breathing techniques and meditation in 3 to 5 minutes, but a lot of times people don't even have that 3 to 5, 10 minutes, like Dr. Allison was saying. So I often tell people, if you don't have that, take 5 1-minute breaks through the day, right? Instead of doing 5 minutes all at once, if you can't fit that in, if even that's too much, take 5 1-minute breaks and you still get the 5 minutes through the day. But the beauty of that is rather than kind of having it build up and having to then kind of release more through the practice, what that does is it handles it as increments throughout the day. And if you position those 5 minutes in increments, then you're kind of like moving through the day with more awareness in how you're feeling and how things are operating, which is especially important around the holidays. So just to follow up from Allison's ideas, I think those were wonderful. And these are some other ways to just implement practices so that way we can do them and feel better.
Absolutely. And multitask. I do a lot of those stretches that you demonstrated as I'm reading an email or right. Great. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. We have a few minutes left, so we just want to quickly go over our programs and resources we have available to you as a reminder. So I will turn it over to Laura as I go ahead and get up our slides once again.
Thank you, Julie.
Mm.
So we hope that you see Workwell as your hub for resources that support all domains of your health and well-being. I think this was a great example of that, coming together mind and body with some of the background. It's nice to bring evidence base and science in. We really supporting employees who strive to make health and wellness a part of their everyday, their programs, resources, services at individual and organizational levels. So those include our health and well-being program, that includes our flagship strategic initiative, USC Healthy Campus, our confidential solution-focused brief counseling, coaching for university leaders, consulting services, which are constructive conversations to help leaders support, empower, and manage their teams. And we also design and deliver talks for groups on various mental health and wellness topics. So all of our services are cost-free, confidential, and convenient for faculty, staff, postdocs who are USC benefits eligible. These services hopefully help you thrive and flourish personally and professionally. I also want to call out our stellar team of licensed counselors, coaches, and health and well-being experts. We have see clients in person and on Zoom at UPC and HSC. And we also have access to 24/7 mental health and well-being support through our affiliate at TELUS Health. And you can learn more about TELUS on our website or by calling us. And of course, you probably have access to our robust website, which is just Workwell at usc.edu, workwell.usc.edu. So I'll turn it back over to Julie for some few last announcements. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll send all these slides to you. My computer is having issues and it's not letting me share anything. So good thing we got through the main presentation. I'll have to reboot after this. Yeah, so we have our great resources through USC Healthy Campus. Just a reminder, we have various subcommittees that any faculty, staff wants to join. If you have an interest or want to network with others or earn professional development, service credit. We have projects around mental health, nutrition, fitness, social connection, financial wellness. And a few highlights coming up for the new year. We will be kicking off Walk USC with a theme walk on January 12th. January 12th at 12:30, our two walk leaders will be leading a gratitude walk. So please join us if you're at UPC. Lorena Duran and Sam Graves will be leading that walk. And then, of course, all of our normal schedule will be posted. For Eat Well Bites on January 8th, we have a session. It's the second Thursday, 12:15 to 12:45, and that will be on GLP-1. I know there's been a lot of questions around weight loss drugs and am I a candidate? What's a safe way to use it? How to combine that with nutrition and lifestyle change. So please join us for that. And then kicking off in February through May is our new financial wellness series, Foundations of Financial Wellness, Plan, Save, and Grow. And we will be promoting that starting in the new year. It's not quite yet ready for registration. So some exciting things for all of you. Feel free to reach out to us. We have our website. We have a mailing list that you can add yourself to, and we also have various Slack channels. And then finally, we will be sending out an evaluation form. We'll also put that in a chat. We will love your feedback. Please share what you'd like to see and hear from all of us, our WorkWell team, as well as our partners. And we welcome any comments, suggestions that you have. And for those of you participating in the Vitality Health Program, we will be submitting your points, so there's nothing you need to do. If you watch the recording, we'll be submitting that as well. And with that, I will say thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us during these couple of past months together. And we wish you a happy, healthy, and restorative holiday season, and see you all next year. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to our partners here.